Welcome to your first chemistry simulation. Today we're going to be balancing chemical equations. Chemical reactions happen all the time. You just can't always see them happen. Let's take a closer look at the chemical reaction that takes place when we light methane bubbles on fire. To form methane bubbles, methane gas is released into soapy water. Inside of a single bubble, there are many molecules of methane, or CH4. Outside of the bubbles, there is air. A component of air is oxygen, O2. Let's zoom in on one of the molecules of methane and two of the oxygen molecules. With a little energy, we get a chemical reaction. In a chemical reaction, atoms rearrange themselves to form a new substance or substances. Watch and see. One methane molecule and two oxygen molecules react to form one carbon dioxide molecule and two water molecules, as well as releasing some heat. Down here, you can see our equation to our chemical reaction. On the left side, we have our reactants, what we start with. On the right side, we have our products, what we end with. You'll see a number in front of each of the reactants and products. We do this to balance our equations. We have to balance our chemical equations because of the law of conservation, which basically means that matter cannot be created nor destroyed. Whatever we start with, we have to end with. So if I start with one carbon, I have to end with one carbon. If I start with 4 hydrogens, I have to end with 4 hydrogens. 2 times 2 here makes 4. With oxygen, if I start with 4, I must end with 4. Here I have 2. Here I have another 2, which makes 4, meaning our equation is balanced. Now what we're asking you to do is to practice balancing your own equations. Let's do the first one together. It's the same products and reactants: methane, oxygen, carbon dioxide, and water. In the example previously, we only had one methane molecule. For this one, I'm going to bump it up to 2. So now we can look up here, we have an unbalanced equation. So let's start with carbon. I have 2 on my reactant side and 1 on my product. So I have to increase the amount of carbon I have on my product side and balance it, 2 and 2. Now let's do hydrogen. I have 8 on the reactant side, but only 2 on the product. So I need to increase my product. 4 times 2 makes 8. Now that's balanced. Finally, oxygen. I have more on the product side, 8, than 2 on the reactants. So I want to increase that number. 4 times 2 makes 8, and now my equation is balanced. If we lower the methane back to 1, you can lower everything else down back to how it was before. And now it's balanced. So you can increase or decrease these numbers however you need to make so that all of these are balanced in the end. There are many more practice problems for you to work on. Go ahead and get started. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. We're here to help.